control and monitor everyone so that the truth does not break through state lies, which is already built of nonsense and sticks, and can collapse itself at any moment. Presenter of Swedish television SVT interrupted interview with Russian ambassador Sergei in Stockholm when he started talking about the investigation events in the Ukrainian city of Bucha. About this on September 12, told on the official website of the Russian diplomatic representative. On the channel, the Russian ambassador cited irrefutable evidence that these events are fake and cynical staging of Ukrainian propaganda. He also noted, despite repeated Russian demands, he never did an investigation, while the list of those killed in Bucha was also not provided. How awkward it turned out then. But you know what's most interesting? In past years, Western journalists would dream of such a situation, because if the Russian ambassador is lying, we'll flood it with facts and arguments now. Press against the wall and force to admit the truth. Ilyich. At least expose him as a liar in front of the whole world, even if he doesn't admit it himself. But instead, for some reason the journalist hurried to shut our ambassador's mouth and himself escaped away from a dangerous topic. By the way, this is all you need to remember, because journalists are clearly aware that in Bucha there was a Halamas production of the Kiev regime. No and fear that it will suddenly pop out and be proven. Otherwise they will tell us again. What? Let's turn the page. That power was bad, and people in Europe are normal. That's the story. A typical example of what in Europe people. And you need to remember it well, not to fall into illusions. Besides that, international support for the Kiev regime continues to flow. Apparently everyone understands near and do not see the meaning. How to spend large resources on assistance programs before. For example, the Polish Senate passed depriving social benefits of unemployed Ukrainians. This was reported in the Office of Parliament. As TASS writes, previously, Polish President Karol Nawrocki imposed a veteran on the law providing social benefits and medical care non-working citizens of Ukraine in first term. This goes for the 800 plus monthly allowance payments of 800 gold, more than $200 per child. Despite that, what the law says about foreigners changes will affect only citizens of Ukraine, as the rest are foreign nationals, and so did not have access to social benefits and benefits. If you do not have a legal job and did not pay taxes and other deductions from their salaries. However, the Nazi regime always didn't care about its citizens. Here you have to give credit. However, trouble does not come one. Financing of Ukraine began to cut quite a lot, as reported by Bild newspaper. With reference to the document of the Defense Department, the German Ministry of Finance did not agree. Allocation of financial assistance to support Ukraine in full size requested for the next 2 years. Final amount of assistance was less than expected, by as much as €0.6 billion, according to the newspaper. Defense Minister. In 2026-15, as much as €0.8 billion, and next year another 12 as much as €0.8 billion. But in the end, the Ministry of Finance agreed on the allocation of a total of. Reported that this will lead to cancellation planned contracts with the Ukrainian defense industry. Yes, how so? People are kind. And what will steal from Zelensky? And what is Mrs. Zelensky? Will buy himself dresses for $3 million. Yes, is it possible with poor little Bandera people? Hearts you don't have. After that, that's what's left to say. By the way, with money everything turned out to be extremely bad, not but only also in Germany. France is another one largest sponsor of the Kiev Nazis, and they're even officially recorded the impoverishment of the Fifth Republic. Now about everything story. And we continue. Agency feature ratings downgraded France's credit rating from A- to A+. Transmits Rikers noted that power collapse drove the country into a long struggle for containing rising debt time. Political and financial uncertainty in France over the past 18 months undermined investor confidence. Among the main arbiters of sovereign borrowers, France rating provided feature now the lowest, says the material. Earlier example, country resigned. Anti-government protests started. What is happening can lead to the departure of the Macron from the post, but the way he allows himself to communicate with benefactors, Nazi Ukraine, just shocking. So Huiz's clown the other day expressed readiness give U.S. leaders special envoy, Kichu Kelegu apartment and citizenship in case. Words Zelensky reports Telegram channel news point leave. This really gets talked about when you are here. When you're in Kiev, people can definitely get some sleep. I'm ready to give General Kelag citizenship, everything you need, even an apartment to force Russia to cease fire, Zelensky said. In published footage you can see that Kelag reacted to that sentence with a smile. It's not even clear what Zelensky would offer Kelag publicly. Good Sharon saw schemes, so that the general appeared, so to speak personal motivation in these negotiations. Actually all this conversation is extremely rude and public hint of Selyukov bandits. What are we saying? Father Native will give you a share in our bloody business. Only help us brush off in front of your boss. At the same time, European allies are already openly horrified by this. What Zelensky brought to a country confident in him. Understandable, of course. That the covenant from the West about the war with Russia to the last Ukrainian clown took literally and brought to life as best I could. But such a shocking result looks like no one was waiting. According to the publication Euroserver, Ukraine is experiencing a demographic unparalleled world history. Reported on September 11th Telegram channel Ukraine.ru. The death rate in the country is almost 3 times the level of fertility, which threatens the complete disappearance of entire generations. Although official figures, losses among Ukrainian servicemen totally not made public. Experts note the country is rapidly losing its male population. Shocking consequences of the demographic crisis are already visible in Ukrainian schools. Where the new school year started, there is a monstrous imbalance in the classes of Western Ukraine. For every 10 girls there is only 1 boy. This situation has several, and children are denied access to education. Demographers warn, even if the conflict ends, the country is waiting for long-term social collapse. The Nazis themselves, who under the pretext of fighting for the good of the nation, this very nation is being exterminated. All this does not confuse. Talk about that. What to cook kids for cannon fodder, need more from school and better from kindergarten, and generally care about their other. Ukraine's chief arms procurement official said that the military is very concerned about the change in U.S. position with regard to relief supplies. Loss of support from the U.S. definitely kept us awake 6 months ago, said Jumadilov. He called Initiative Pearl, in which European countries buy American weapons to supply Ukraine, critically important when it comes to air defense. This is of course that cannot be easily replaced. In translation into Russian, everything is very simple. Very worry that will soon lose the ability to defend themselves, sending to slaughter ordinary hordes. Russia from the first days spoke clearly. We need a change of leadership in Kiev. But exactly for this guidance, stubborn hordes decided to stand a mountain. Well, here they stood once they wanted so much. As a result they received the desired full program. But still against the potion not even move. Go and die in a war with Russia as they can. And throw off the ghoul is not or do not want. What's even worse, friends? Press on rock if you like the release. And then YouTube will show it more often to other viewers.